name remains Murphy Joe. I'm here again to present another program for you, which I called Bits and Pieces with Murphy Joe. I created this content for people within the domiciliary health setup. It's supposed to cut across everything they call social work care, but I actually narrow it down to within domiciliary health setup because I believe within the residential area setup that must have all these mistakes I want to be talking about must have been picked up maybe by the manager or by the nurses before it gets out of hand. But in a domiciliary care setup, it actually takes time for all these mistakes to be picked up, because before they start the review gets to, by the time they write it on their communication record sheet, by the time it gets to the office, by the time they start to look at the whole thing, to check it, time must have gone. A lot of things must have happened. But within residential setup, this thing can quickly be picked up. So, what makes me to create this program? For the last few years, I've seen people making a lot of mistakes. Sometimes genuine one. Because this field we are talking about, this field that's very, very dynamic, things changes almost every day. Almost every day. And if you're not on top of your job, you might find yourself in a real problem, which I really don't want people to find themselves in, because we all go out there to make ends meet. The ends meet shouldn't turn to problem, but in some cases, that is what we realize that is happening. So that's what I try to, what can I do to help people out there? What can I do to add my quota in order to help people to move from doing something wrong to doing something right? Sometimes you might be thinking you are doing the right thing. Some of these things I want to be talking about is kind of, it's not in care plan, back to duty of care, back to a lot of topics. I'll be discussing it almost every week here on this program. And what I'm going to start with today, I only have about 30 minutes to talk to you. So it's about something they call duty of care. But before I go further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Murphy Joe, and I've been working around this field for the last 8 or 9 years. A qualified assessor. I'm a qualified trainer, and with my years of experience, I believe I'm qualified enough to talk in this field, to say something about what I want to talk about in this field. I said earlier on, I want to talk about, the program is about bits and pieces in social care. That is, it's not about full training, just to give out a lot of, just like an handout. Okay, take this, be aware of this, look after this. So if you look after all those things, you won't find yourself in trouble. That's what I said. I want to talk about duty of care. Gone are the days when I remember that time, when they ask you to do anything, you tell them it's not my care plan. So I'm not going to. Till now, people are still saying the same thing. That's why I want to correct you guys. It's not in my care plan. I can't do it. Maybe you go to your client's house, you see family that are very abusive. What concerns you is not your problem. That is their own problem. You've gone down there, you've done your job, and you've left. That's their problem. Or you go in, the house is a bit dirty, and then you just give the care, because there is nothing like cleaning in that care plan. No cleaning in the care plan. So it's not in my care plan. You leave. Okay, you see the rotting food, all those stuff, and then we call it a common sense thing that, you should pick up. But how do we define the sense that is common? How do we define it? So that is why in Care Act, they underline it, that every one of us have got a duty of care. Imagine you go to your client's house. The whole house is dirty. All this while, you've gone in there, you've walked out. You've gone in there, you've walked out. And that client continue to reading in poor vicinity. The environment is dirty. Even the house is not habitable. But because that pin and on your care plan to clean, it's not your care plan to do shopping or to see rotten food and then raise an alarm. You just leave and you go. Yeah, to some extent, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You've gone there to do what you need to do, but you just need to leave. But currently, that is wrong. You can even be prosecuted for it. I bet you. That is neglect. Some people might be saying that, what's he talking about? That is what we find out recently among our people. They see it as, it's not my job, it's not being paid for. Why do they expect me to do somebody's job when they're not paying me? Let me correct you guys around the area. They are not saying you should do the job. That's not what they are saying. What they are saying is that you should raise the alarm. They're not saying you should do the job. You go to your client's house, you realize that the whole area is very, very dirty. Nothing stops you from picking your phone to call your office and report it to your office. Or you call your manager and report straight to your manager. Or you call your coordinators and report it to your coordinator. Nothing stops you. You just pick the phone and you call them. They are not saying that you have to do it. Because you are going there, even the family might be living there. You are going there, the family are not saying anything. You are not saying anything. And someone else from, maybe from social services or police, go into the house and they see what you're not reporting and they should pick it up. You will be in a hell of trouble. You can sit that because the family are there, all those stuff. You are there. The client you are looking after, you owe them a duty of care. You owe them that duty to say that, okay, no, I can't live in this particular environment. I can't live in this particular situation. Why should they live in that kind of situation? Not everything one needs to monetize. You have to be responsible to whatever you are out there to do. And one of those things we're out there to do is just to look for all these little things. Though they are not part of what you're supposed to be doing, but they are part of what you're supposed to raise alarm for. They're not saying you should do it. If you're not the one doing shopping, and you continue to go to somewhere or to a client, and you continue to see rotten food in the fridge, or they're not having enough food. Maybe they were not even having enough food. And what stops you from picking your phone? Some of our career, they even go to the length of saying that I've written in the communication record sheet. That communication record sheet might not leave that place until after the next 3 months. So imagine leaving a client there, not having food, the environment is not habitable, and you live there until somebody now pick it up 3 months later. How will you feel? Just put yourself in that kind of situation. And why I'm actually trying to develop this content is about people from where, especially from where I come from. There's this kind of nonchalant attitude from our own part. Whenever the money is not assigned to a particular duty, we normally forget it. When there is problem, you will forget it's not my job, it's not in care plan. Because by the time they bombard you with necessary report you need to write, even from where you're writing the report, you will realize that it will have been better for you to spare 1, 2, 3 minutes to do the needful, rather than get into a situation whereby you have to be running up and down. And if you look back, you correspond what you are being paid to the problem that will arise from that thing. You realize that I would rather even be sleeping at home rather than going out. And to some of my career, I always tell them one thing. What's worth doing at all is what's worth doing well. So far you leave your house to go and do something. Why don't you just do it very well and leave? I know some of the time is not. There are a lot of people that will make a genuine mistake. A genuine mistake. I had an experience about one of my carer. There was nothing like shopping in our care plan. There was nothing like cleaning. Even there were family member that was cleaning. And suddenly, maybe the family member was sick, taken to the hospital. So it was only the carer and the client. And again, there was nothing like cooking, in quotes, cooking, because we don't cook. What they normally do is to warm the microwave meal for their client. So she is only narrowed down to using microwave, not the cooking machine, not the cooker, but the microwave. And there was this incident that happened that the whole house was just smelling. I don't know why she could not pick it up, but according to people who went there, they said there was no smell. Police came. The man made a mistake of pressing the dependent alarm, thinking that somebody had burgled his house. Police came. They realized that the whole house was a mess. And then they started searching, where's the odor coming from? And they saw it was from the oven. It was raised as a neglect. But directly or indirectly, the care have got nothing to do with the oven. Nothing. What she has to do is just to make sure that she microwaved the microwave was very, very clean. And they could testify it. But a neglect was raised, saying that she has a duty of care towards the man. Whatever happened within the house, even if the house is smelling, whatever, everything, she ought to have raised it up. Excuse me. So, which she did not. And it turns out to be a very massive case. Very massive one. There are lots. I can go on from now till forever. So, wherever you see anything, it doesn't take you anything just to pick your phone and call. Call your manager. Call your manager. If your manager is not, okay, let's say from coordinator, call your manager. Let them know this is the problem. This is the issue here. So how do we go about it? It's just for you to call. Then that one now leads me to the second phase of the whole thing. We have some people, some of our career, I don't know the reason why. What we need to do, we leave our house to go out to work. We shouldn't be forced to do the job. We shouldn't be forced. Though it's not your job, it's not in care plan, it's not being paid for all those stuff, everything. But so far you've leave your house and then you get to your place of work and they ask you to do, it's not that they are asking you to do extra thing, just report. You see some people, instead of them to report, they will now take their text message and then send a text message. You don't know where that phone is. Even some people have even turned on call out of our phone. That is what they call on call, out of our phones to a normal phone, as if they can sell a message anytime. When they can pick the phone up and call. And some of them will even be telling you, I've got no credit, which sounds so awful. If you are working for 28 days or 30 days and you get paid, and for you to say that, for you to report something that could boomerang, because when they send you out to go and work, maybe, though some of these carers, it's not that they were not trained, They were well trained. Well trained. But it's not good enough to receive all this training without making use of the training. Some people will say the training is not enough or those type of things. I've seen a carer, I've seen some, not even one, the same day. I've seen several carers that were taught about something. This is not right, this is the right thing. And in less than 5 hours, they committed the same thing. They did the same thing, exactly the same thing. I was shocked. I believe when you trained, at that particular point in time, it's supposed to be very high up there. That, okay, this is wrong. This could cause me problem. So how do I go about it? Okay, this is the way I should go about it. That particular point in time, I believe that thing should sink. If it is about a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe they've forgotten what they've taught. But less than 5 hours after they were just being told, this is wrong. This is what you have to be doing. And then they did the same thing. It just seemed me that, come on, even they are talking about training, these people have been given this training. This is the necessary training they needed, and it has been given to them. But still, when this situation whereby they're still making the same mistake. And when I spoke to them, it was like, but I'm doing whatever I need to do, all this everything. But you just made the same mistake that you were just corrected about a few hours ago. Why? Sometimes people are just in class. People can pass the exam. People can pass training. Can pass this thing when they're doing the assessment. They can pass it nicely. They will get 80-something, 90-something. But their motives of going to that work, if that motive is defeated, like because of money, every one of us work because of money. But you have to do the job right to get your money. But when you get to the place of your work, and then you're not doing the right job, and then you want them to pay you, you're causing yourself problem. You might have a bit of luck. This is not a fate. That's why I told most of them. I said, let me tell you one thing. If you know that you cannot comply with the necessary regulations and guidelines of this faith, this is not a faith that you can just play around. I will tell them one thing, that nurse could only be prosecuted for clinical error, but carer, you could prosecute for everything, almost everything. The way you speak to your clients, the way you even enter your client, the way you look at your client, then the way you carry your job out. Just like everything. It's just a shame. Government recently just classified carer to be just non-skill, because they really don't know what it entails. And I believe they know. They just want to do that. Because now care job is not just for the mere sake of, okay, just wipe the bomb and that's all. No. They want you to know a lot of regulations that guide your jobs, a lot of law that guide your jobs, a lot of acts that guide your jobs. Even the policies and procedures of your organization, they want you to know it. It's not about just knowing it. You know it very well. So whenever you are going out of the way, you'll be able to tell, okay, no, I think I'm doing the wrong thing. I think this is the right thing. As I said, this program, I'll be coming with different topics, from medication to safeguarding to whistleblowing, other stuff. And then you realize a lot of mistakes we are making. And our carer, they find of when they are in problem, I call the office. That one will come back into when I get to the safeguarding area, and I will tell you guys where you're making mistakes. Gone are the days when you can just crook one lie and then cook one lie and then you think it will cover up anything. The only thing you can do to cover you up is to do your job very well. You guys are really trying, especially in the domiciliary care setup. All this thing I'm saying, we can't go so much in residential care setup. Somebody must have picked it up. But in domiciliary care setup, if care is not taken, it can take months because somebody can pick it out. That, okay, there's problem here and there, here and there, here and there. So I will narrow down everything on this topic about domiciliary care setup. You owe your client a duty of care. You guys are trying. You wake up early in the morning, sunshine, rain, everything, you walk around. It's not easy. It's not easy. It destroys whom somebody is. Going up and down. I always give it to carers. I always give it to you. Because you have a lot of things to contend with. You have yourself to contend with. You have the weather to contend with. You have the family of the client to contend with. You have the client to contend with. You have the government to contend with. You have the neighbor to contend with. You now have your organization to contend with. And still, most of you faces a lot of problem here and there every day, but still every day you still go out there to do your job. So I always give it to you. You're doing a very good job. But it's not just good enough to face all these issues and then go out there and do not so good enough job. It might take you a minute, a second, or just everything to correct certain things, to do certain things. Take your time. At least, though the time, some of the time is not even enough. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and even at most 50. 1 hour, I mean. And how many of them giving 1 hour? Government every day, they continue to knock down social care, the money. They continue to reduce their expenses. They continue to reduce it. All at the expense of the carer. Because the job is mounting every day, but they continue to shrink the money, which is not fair. It's not fair. And due respect that they should accord you guys is not even there. It's not even there. They see it as if what's the job they are doing. They're not doing anything. That is unskilled job. That is, I don't know where they get that one from. I don't know where they get it from. Because for you to be a carer, not just to be a carer, to be a good carer. Because you can just be a carer. You can walk in somebody and walk out on that person. And still call yourself a carer. But for you to say that you're a good carer, there are certain things that you need to know. And nowadays, you have to be on top. You have to be there. You have to know your stuff very well. It's not that you go in there. I attended one strategic meeting about maybe last year or 2 years ago, and it was an eye-opener. What happened was, okay, they were trying to blame a carer. She's supposed to know this, she's supposed to know that, she's supposed to know this one, she's supposed to know this one. And just from nowhere, one of them just stood up. Okay, this section 42 you guys are talking about, how many of us there have read that particular section 42? None of them. None. Not a single one. Even a police officer that have raised it because of public interest, boom, it has to. Not a single one of them. But this is what they expect you as a carer, being paid a peanut to know. And you don't know what? It's not a problem. They don't care about how much you've been paid. So far, you've already taken the jobs. Okay, this is my profession. They don't care about other things. They are just by the way. They actually, what they need to know is that, were you trained? Yes, I was trained. You know about this, you know you have to do this. That's all. That's what they need to know before they start running up and down over you. So I don't want you guys out there to be in problem. All these issues are very, very little. Just very, very little. You see something in that client's house, you pick it up. You don't send a text message. That is what some of you are doing. Because, if you call your offices or your office, they might be telling you this, they might be telling you that, wasting your time. They might even cancel the next shift, meaning that you're losing money. Forget about the money you're losing. Let us just focus on the current one. This is all about you. This is all about you. And I hope that with time, every one of us will be able to know what is right from what is wrong. So whenever you see your client that they are struggling, though that thing is not your care plan, please raise the alarm. It doesn't take you anything. raise the alarm. Call your managers, inform your managers about, okay, this is what you say, I don't think this is right, and then your manager will take it up. We all owe ourselves a duty of care. We all. I can't see somebody who fell on the road and just walked up past that person. It's not right. I can do that on the road because there was no responsibility on me to look up that person. I can walk that person. But if they send me to somebody to look up that somebody and I'm being paid, there is payment attached to that thing, I'll be in trouble. I'll be in trouble. So this, we shouldn't try to take £9 per hour job or £10 or £11, whatever, to cost us ourselves about. At the end of the day, when you get to court, it will be about £1,000 per hour court case because the others will collect their own money, everybody will collect their own money, other stuff. And that one apart, the stress that you're gonna be, because court case is not something they do. You have court case today and it's resolved in the next 1 month, 3 months, 4 months. It can take years. And imagine being on your rope for that years. The stress you're gonna be. So please guys, just focus on what you're doing and it shall be well. That is that. From now onward, maybe tomorrow, if there is anything that you guys want me to talk about, just leave your comments and I will attend to that comment. I want us to, I'll be coming almost probably every weekend with different topics. It might be on medications, as I said earlier, it might be on safeguarding, because those are the areas, whistleblowing, those are the areas that you need to, there are a lot of little issues there. Because sometimes it's not just about reporting. There are other times that if you report, it might not be enough. So that is when it turns to whistleblowing, all those stuff, the necessary steps you need to take. But I believe if you know your stuff, you do your training very well, and you don't say that, okay, how long I've been in this job. That is problem of some of the people that have been in this job for years. This is my 25 years in this job, all the stuff, everything. So you will now be telling me all the stuff. Like, things changes every day. I've had the training last year, and less than 7 months or 8 months, that thing changes. Imagine me saying that I just had that training about a few months ago. So why do I need to change anything? I'm all right. There's no problem. There is. So as I said, I just want about half an hour every weekend, just to brief us that, okay, this is what we have to do. This is what we don't need to be doing. This is what we need to make effort on. So until next time that we meet, my name still remains Murphy Ojo. Have a blessed evening. Bye.